Tito Mboweni. The name alone carries weight, conjuring images of a man who navigated the tumultuous seas of South African politics and economics. He was a constant presence, a figure who transitioned from fighting against the tyranny of apartheid to shaping the very fabric of the new South Africa. Mboweni's life was deeply intertwined with the struggle for liberation. He wasn't just a spectator, he was a dedicated soldier on the front lines of the fight against injustice. This commitment to a free and fair South Africa would become the driving force behind his long and illustrious career. From the halls of Parliament to the boardrooms of financial institutions, Mboweni's voice resonated. He was a man who understood the complexities of his nation, a man grappling with the immense task of building a prosperous future from the ashes of a discriminatory past. His legacy, much like the man himself, is a tapestry woven from both triumph and tribulation. It's a legacy that continues to spark debate, provoke reflection, and inspire generations to come. Born in 1956 in the rural village of Tzaneen, Mboweni's early life was a world away from the corridors of power he would one day inhabit. His was a childhood shaped by the realities of apartheid, a system designed to relegate black South Africans to the margins of society. It was during these formative years that the seeds of activism were sown. Witnessing firsthand the injustice and brutality inflicted upon his people ignited a fire in Mboweni's belly, a burning desire to fight for a better future. This desire led him to join the African National Congress, or ANC, while still a young man. Forced into exile, he continued his education abroad, earning a degree in economics, a tool he would later wield to help rebuild his nation. Exile was a crucible that tempered Mboweni's resolve. It exposed him to the global stage, broadening his understanding of geopolitics and economics. These experiences would prove invaluable when he returned home to a newly liberated South Africa. 1994, the year South Africa finally shattered the shackles of apartheid. Nelson Mandela, the embodiment of hope and reconciliation, stood at the helm, and it was in this pivotal moment that Mandela entrusted Tito Mboweni with a critical task to heal the wounds of the past and forge a more equitable future for South African workers. Mboweni became the nation's first Minister of Labour. It was a monumental task, fraught with challenges. The legacy of apartheid loomed large, casting a long shadow over the workplace. Discrimination, exploitation, and inequality were deeply entrenched. Undeterred, Mboweni rolled up his sleeves and got to work. He spearheaded the drafting and implementation of progressive labour laws, recognizing that a just and prosperous society could only be built upon a foundation of fair labour practices. His efforts focused on dismantling discriminatory legislation, empowering trade unions, and promoting collective bargaining. He championed the rights of workers, understanding that their well-being was intrinsically linked to the nation's economic prosperity. After proving his mettle as Labour Minister, Mboweni was called upon to navigate an even more treacherous terrain, the world of finance. In 1999, he was appointed governor of the South African Reserve Bank, becoming the first black South African to hold this prestigious position. His tenure at the helm of the central bank coincided with a period of significant economic transformation for South Africa. The country was transitioning from an isolationist apartheid-era economy to one integrated with the global market. Mboweni approached this challenge with his trademark pragmatism and unwavering commitment to stability. He understood that a sound monetary policy was crucial for fostering sustainable economic growth and attracting foreign investment. His leadership was put to the test during the 2008 global financial crisis. As the world watched economies crumble, Mboweni's steady hand and decisive actions helped cushion South Africa from the worst of the fallout. Section 5, Answering the Call, a return to public service. In 2018, with South Africa facing renewed economic headwinds, President Cyril Ramaphosa turned to a familiar face, a steady hand, known for his fiscal discipline and unwavering commitment to reform. Tito Mboweni was called upon once again, this time to take on the mantle of Minister of Finance. It was a challenging time for the nation. Economic growth had stagnated, unemployment was stubbornly high, and the spectre of corruption loomed large. Mboweni found himself tasked with reviving a struggling economy while navigating the often treacherous waters of South African politics. He knew there were no easy answers, no quick fixes. Austerity measures were necessary, but they were also deeply unpopular. Structural reforms were essential, but they faced resistance from vested interests. Mboweni's second stint in government was perhaps his most turbulent. He faced criticism from all sides, accused of being too willing to embrace austerity and too reluctant to challenge the status quo. Yet he remained steadfast in his belief that tough choices were necessary to secure a brighter future for South Africa. Section 6. A legacy marked by accolades and contention. Tito Mboweni's career was a study in contrasts, a testament to the complexities of navigating the post-apartheid landscape. He was a man who elicited both admiration and animosity, often in equal measure. His supporters lauded him as a skilled technocrat, a man with a deep understanding of economics and an unwavering commitment to fiscal prudence. They pointed to his track record, his ability to steer the South African economy through choppy waters as evidence of his competence and dedication. His detractors, however, painted a different picture. They saw him as out of touch, too quick to embrace austerity measures that disproportionately impacted the poor and marginalized. They criticized his perceived arrogance, his tendency to dismiss opposing viewpoints. The truth, as always, lay somewhere in between. Mboweni was a complex figure, a man of contradictions who defied easy categorization. He was capable of both great vision and frustrating stubbornness, of inspiring leadership and infuriating pronouncements. Section 7. A nation reflects, a legacy endures. Section 8. The unfinished symphony of a nation in progress. Mboweni's passing marked the end of an era, but it also served as a stark reminder of the unfinished business of building a truly equitable and prosperous South Africa. His life's work, much like the nation he dedicated himself to serving, remained an ongoing project, a symphony still in progress. The challenges he grappled with, poverty, inequality, unemployment, still loom large. The dream of a South Africa where all citizens have an equal opportunity to thrive remains elusive. Yet amidst the grief and the unfinished business, there is hope. There is the legacy of Mboweni's unwavering commitment to justice, his belief in the power of education and his dedication to public service. Section 9. A final toast to the chef of South African politics. In the tapestry of South African history, Tito Mboweni will forever hold a unique place, a man of contradictions, a master chef of economic policy, and a relentless advocate for progress. His life and work serve as a reminder that the struggle for a just and equitable society is a marathon, not a sprint. So let us raise a glass, or perhaps a pot of his beloved pilchards, to Tito Mboweni, a man who dared to dream of a better South Africa and dedicated his life to making that dream a reality. His legacy, much like a perfectly seasoned dish, will continue to nourish and provoke debate for generations to come.